Call meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody to the November 7th, 2013 Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board meeting. We do have a proper quorum. We have a motion to approve or disapprove the minutes from the October 24th, 2013 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Minutes are approved. Our first order of business is a review highlights of the annual report for the 2012-2013 permit year. Mr. Kenneth, I will turn that over to you.
All right. I'd like to thank you guys for coming out tonight. Try not to take too much of your time with this. This is our 2012-2013 annual report. I briefly run through it here, a majority of the highlights, the main thing that's changed over the past year. Our water quality priorities. This past year, we've added the E. coli sampling for the Hurricane Creek. A part of the permit is we have to test all of the impaired creeks for E. coli and microinvertebrates. So we have Finch Branch and we have Hurricane Creek. We did Finch Branch prior to me coming. I just went and did Hurricane Creek, and then our next annual budget, I have more money to go ahead and do the microinvertebrate sampling for both streams. So that'll be next budget. If you guys want to jump over to the page 2, item number 4, public education and public participation. Nothing really changed in this area. We did one more public education than we usually do, and what I did was I went on the website for all of the schools in the city, and I got every teacher in the city's email, and I emailed them about my program, let them know what I offer, what we do, and the other programs that we have in place for them to go and try to get educated on stormwater and stormwater management. And I get a little bit more into that program as we go on. Codes and ordinances, review and update, nothing changed there. Item number 6, construction, nothing changed with construction. The number of construction sites were 16 this period. Active sites and reporting sites were 16, and on average we inspected those sites weekly, really daily, but we would like to say weekly, because if he wasn't able to get to that site in that day, it wouldn't hurt anything. But as long as we get to it in that week, we just make sure we stay close to it. Item number 7, illicit discharge and elimination. Nothing really changed here, except the amount of sites that were reported to be illicit discharge. This year we had 3. I think the previous year we had 7 or 8. I think what happened this year, a good thing this year, is we put more information on the city website about how to get in touch with me and to report these. Prior to this year, a lot of people had no idea. I'm the person you're supposed to contact. They probably contact the police or the fire department about spills. So I kind of got more calls this year about them, which they weren't that bad, so I didn't put them on here, but I got the calls, so that was a good thing for the website. Moving over to the next page, stormwater pollution and prevention plans. Nothing really changed here, but what I would like to do is try to work with Parks and Recs a little bit more and get those guys familiarized with stormwater management. Little do they know, a lot of the chemicals that they use in the grasses could potentially harm the city. I'm not sure what they're using, but I'm sure they're not being careful with what they're using or aware of what it could do. So that's one of my plans, to get with the Parks and Recs and try to work with them to see what they're using, and just make sure if we were to get audited and they go there and check that out, we're not being penalized for it. Moving down to item number 9, permanent stormwater controls. We didn't really change anything here, but we did elaborate a little bit more on item number B, about the threshold and the stormwater plan review process. A lot of people and a lot of contractors that come into the city aren't aware of that the plans go through the city engineer hands, then my hands, and that's how we review our plans. A lot of people call me directly and send the plans to me, which they don't understand that they go through Cal first, then through me. Item C, the enforcement plan, it's in place. Nothing changed with it. Item number E, we've listed the city's website with the stormwater, the updated stormwater page on it. Moving over to the next page. Item number 10, the enforcement. Since me coming aboard, we haven't had too many notice of violations or any stop work orders. I think we may have had one stop work order, and it was just a contractor that's been around so long. He's been kind of set in his ways, but we got that straightened out. No other items, no administrative fines or civil penalties or any other criminal activities or actions. Item number B, we need to go ahead and update this because we do have our GIS and database spreadsheet in place. Now we have our new Trimble units. The last Trimble units they had kind of outdated itself to where it wouldn't sync with the Windows 7 program, which what the city was working on at the time. So they were out of the GIS units, but I have a new GIS unit, and we've been logging the city attributes and city features lately. So, but we're starting to put a lot more into the program, and this help us out with trying to keep a track of keeping log of what we have in the city. I think the main problem or main issue of the annual report is the program resources. The annual expenditure from last reporting period was $641,101.85. The next budget period, we're budgeting roughly around $650. The city actually take in more than that, but we just figure that's usually about what the city uses or what the stormwater department usually uses. We do have an independent financing mechanism in place. It's the Stormwater Fee. The annual fee that's usually collected from the Stormwater Fee is $1.1 million a year is usually what we see. We currently have 7 full-time employees, including myself in the Stormwater Department. Not including Kyle. I probably should have put him with that. Moving over to the programs and responsibilities. Right now, we share public education with the city of Murfreesboro, town of Smyrna, and Rutherford County. We share a part of our permit, which is the public education, and we share, and what we actually share is Project WET, which is a company out of Murfreesboro that teaches students and teachers about how to educate the families and kids about water and water resources in the area. So we share the cost to get the lady that manages that program to travel to different schools in different cities. A lot of the schools, matter of fact, none of the schools in Laverne knew about this program, so that's why I went ahead and went to all the websites, got all the teachers' emails, and single-handedly emailed every teacher, let them know we have this in place. If you want to go up there, it's $25 for the class. It's a day's worth of work, and I actually did the class myself. It was pretty nice class and pretty in-depth class as well. Item number 12, evaluating and measuring progress. And again, this is where I was speaking about the E. coli and microinvertebrates sampling. We're done with the E. coli sampling for the 2 streams, and my next goal is to get the microinvertebrates sampling done next year on next year's budget, and next year would actually be the 5th year of our permit, and you have 5 years you have to renew it, so we'll have it done just in time before the new permit kicks in place. Stormwater management updates, and they can be found on our website. Right now I don't have anything to put on the website, but as they come I try to get them to get put on the website. And that is it for the annual report.
Did you receive any feedback from any of the teachers concerning your emails?
No, I haven't received it, but I called the Project Wet lady and asked her about the feedback. And the reason why they're not responding because I sent it out with so many people on the email. If they reply, it goes back to everyone. So, but no, I haven't received any feedback from the teachers themselves. But the Project Wet instructor called me and let me know. Thanks for overloading her job. So.
Oh, good for you. I think it's wonderful. It's the first time I've heard of us doing that.
Yeah. I mean, we've had the program in place, but I think prior to me, they were going to the classes, telling the teachers one by one, and I don't think it was reaching the teachers enough. So I contacted the principals, asked if it was all right for me to send this email out, and if any one of the teachers need any literature, I have tons of literature. And actually, at the Old Timers Festival, I did get feedback. A lot of the teachers came over at Old Timers Festival and asked for some of the literature. So I had stacks of books I was giving out at the Old Timers Festival. So
I was going to say that was another place where that you were standing and giving out information as well, getting information out.
And I had 2-3 Girl Scout groups come by and ask me for literature. I've sent 2 Girl Scout groups to Project Wet in Murfreesboro. So I thought that was pretty neat. One of the, I guess, Girl Scout leaders, she's a teacher, so she wanted it for her kids at home and for her classroom. So it was pretty helpful to get that out there. I think if no one knows about it, then it's not doing any good. So
You're right. That's a good job.
thank you.
And we have to send this report in every year, right?
Yes, by September the 30th. I've already sent it in. We would have had our last meeting. It would have been right before then, but it's already been sent in. It's been confirmed and so far approved. No bad feedback on it. So
Excellent. We like to keep the state happy, don't we?
we do. We do. We really do.
So, I'm sorry, is it okay if I just ask questions? Am I blowing protocol here?
No.
Oh, good. I think I heard you say that there were some calls that came in, but that people weren't cited.
Well, people kind of get illicit discharge mixed up with, if there's a bag of somebody cut the grass and left the grass in the road, that's not illicit discharge. So I was getting those type of calls from people seeing the website. They know who to call now.
Okay.
So any little thing they call me and they say it's an illicit discharge, but I have to explain to them that's just littering. It's not really necessarily an illicit discharge. So out of those 30 calls I received, only 3 of them were actually illicit discharge calls.
So could you define an illicit discharge for me to help me remember?
Illicit discharge is sort of oil spills, something of that nature that water could carry on into the sewer system and
Because that's what
potentially
I
get
was
into a
thinking
lake.
about. Some of us went to that class up north. You were at that class up north, right?
Yeah.
And I remember them talking
Yeah, so
about
we
that.
trying to keep things of that nature in the category of illicit discharge. Grass clippings, I wouldn't necessarily call it. I just call it a littering thing.
So when you cited for those 3, what was the citation?
The citation, us as the city, we really don't give out a monetary citation.
Right.
We basically just give them a warning and kind of let them know that we're going to report you to the state. The state will then come in at that time and then take it from there. Our job is mainly just a reporter, and report it and keep track of it for ourselves. The city would then at that point take care of it. Simpler situation over here at Co-op. I think one of the corn oil trucks leaked overnight tons of gallons of oil. So at that point, we just went over to assess the situation and make sure that they were cleaning it up and reacting right away, because the state can't come right away. So the state came down, I think later that day or the next day, and they took it from there. But our job was just to monitor it and make sure that they were working on the cleanup process. But as far as fines or whatever, that would be done by the state.
Oh, good. And I'm sure they moved on it very quickly, right?
Oh yeah,
Good.
Yeah, they did.
Nice. Thank you.
All right.
I've got a question I ask.
Yes, ma'am.
I have Cub Scouts that camps out at my place.
Yes, ma'am.
Like next spring when they camp out, could I get you to come out there and talk to them about,
Yes, ma'am.
because they're real good. They clean up around the creek
Yeah.
and
Yeah, be glad to come
bridges
out.
and stuff like
Be
that.
glad to come out.
Okay, thank you.
What age are they?
Sir,
What ages are they?
Cub Scouts,
Okay. Yeah,
little ones.
Yeah, reason why I asked because I guess when I went to go get my training from Project Wet, she kind of put it in perspective for me, kind of find out the age group, so you're not going in there with literature that's going to be over their heads before you go in there. So that was a good point for her to make for me.
More
Because the
questions?
boys are very conscientious about, is this a good weed, or is this a bad weed, or can we do this, can we do that?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
try to keep them in line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's what we want is discussion. All right, any more questions? All right, with that, we'll move on to item number 2 of new business, discussion of the stormwater program status and update.
All right. I made a little slide presentation here to go through the stormwater program update. As you know, my MS4 permit, we have to adhere to the 6 items here: public education and outreach, public participation and involvement, illicit discharge, detection and elimination, construction site runoff and control, post-construction, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping. The last item is one of my biggest items I haven't really touched on, and that's mainly me working with Parks and Recs, trying to get those guys up to par with what's going on, and public works and housekeeping in that area. So since I've been here, that's the only item I haven't been able to touch on, but the rest of them so far I've kind of dabbled with so far. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not doing bad. I just
I was
just
gonna
want to
say
talk
this is
with
a
them
good
and
thing.
kind of get an idea of what's going on with them.
So I don't know if you want to pick up any more evening work, but, you know, we have our meetings, they happen once a month, and it might be something that you may want to send handouts or something into the committee.
Yeah,
We tend
well,
to be pretty vocal.
I have a couple of videos that I've ordered, and basically just sit down with the guys, just let them watch the video and
Nice.
let them decide, hey, I've been doing something wrong according to this video.
So this is really about the types of product that's purchased.
Basically,
and used on our
their
lawns and
daily
stuff?
habits, because they may not be aware of the daily equipment that they're using or material that they use and may be hazardous. So basically, just to let them know, hey, I may need to switch this material, or there's a better material out there for me.
Nice.
So basically, just kind of give those guys a heads up, not to beat down their throats or anything.
Oh, no, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's learning.
Never too old to learn.
Never too
Exactly.
And we've reviewed the annual report. New business, stormwater page update. When I came in, I think that was the first thing I did was work on that stormwater web page. It was lacking a lot of material. I think the first thing, and the way things are going now, everything is kind of computer-based, web-based, internet. So everyone's always checking the website, and I learned that we have a Facebook page here now. So I try to post something on Facebook every now and then, and on the website, just kind of get it out there, because, like I said, if we don't tell them, they don't know. So.
Is the Facebook site, is there a link to jump over to Stormwater? Or is that a Facebook thing? I don't Facebook.
Well, it's
No? Oh, okay,
it's
never
basically
mind.
just the city's website, and I
Okay.
give her some from a message from Stormwater to post on there. So there's no actual Stormwater Facebook page, which may be a good idea. The complaint log is basically any complaints that we get from the city. It's our way of tracking them now. I think the previous way was little. No good word to say. I mean, it wasn't thorough enough, I guess, for the city to keep track of what was going on, and a lot of jobs and complaints got dropped by the wayside because they weren't tracked properly. So I went back to the old method I think they've used 6-7 years ago, and Bruce has access to it now. So if anybody wanted to see where we at, or if someone, a resident called you and asked you, hey, where am I at? I called this guy 2 weeks ago. You can pull up the complaint log and say, hey, you 3 items down, we've got 3 calls in front of yours. So
Does that mean that the complaint log is accessible through the city site?
no, basically what I did is, I'm not sure how the city is set up. Not everyone can get into everyone's files, but I didn't want to go to everyone's office and try to give them access to it. So I went to Bruce, and I just told Bruce how to get a shortcut on his desktop. So if he wanted to see it, he can click the shortcut and it'll open up the complaint log. But it would be nice for everyone to get to. I think we're a ways away from that right now as
That's okay.
far as the technology that we're using here at the city, which wouldn't be a bad idea just to let them see it. Several other cities do that to where you can go online and make your complaint. So, but it would be something to let them see. Sometimes they don't believe me when I tell them like, hey, you're six calls down, and they're like, can you come out right now? Like, I mean, if it was a dire emergency, I would skip around, but if not, just you have to hold your position there. Yeah, unless it's a major flooding, we usually unless it's flooding, we usually don't skip the jobs. No one is more important than the other unless it's flooding issues. So, but being that it's cold weather now, we haven't had too many flooding issues. Again, the impaired stream testing, Hurricane Creek, we've done the coli August 2013, Finch Branch, Hurricane Creek, microinvertebrates 2014 is what we're looking to get done. I'm gonna end up putting it out to bid probably top of the summer next year, maybe. The annual stream cleanup, we actually did 2 of these this year. We didn't involve the public with it because we had such high turnover at the time. I think Parks was turning over at the time. I was just coming in, so we didn't have the time to get it out to the public. So what we did was just took 3 days off and did stream cleanup. I think we got the inmates on one of them, but the picture you see on the left is from the Hurricane Creek right outside of City Hall.
Wow.
That's big stuff.
Yes, yes. That was two trucks of that on the left, and on the right, what you see is the boat ramp off of Percy Priest. We did that for 2 days, and we had 2 20-yard dumpsters that we got filled from just the boat ramp area.
Do our codes allow us to cite people for doing that sort of dumping? I mean, that looks like willful, does it not?
Yeah,
I mean, how do you drop something that big and not know it?
yeah, you know.
Oh,
you know. That's something I want to look into. I noticed that our Public Works Department makes signs. I want to get some signs up to let people know if we're potentially could fine for this. But again, I have to get with city engineers, see what type of things we have to put into the ordinance to get this worked out, because that's one thing I noticed. We really don't have any signs up to prevent or prohibit this type of dumping. So
maybe as things get cheaper and cheaper, we can pop a couple 24-hour cameras up.
yeah.
Put up
Yeah.
some signs. That'll stop people from putting their garbage in the stream.
And one thing I would like to do is try to do this more often, because I feel like if we do it more often, we won't have as much to clean up. Because my guys had to go and get the inmates, and it was maybe 30 of us out there just to carry the bags back to the. So I figure if we do it more often, we won't have as much. So, and it wouldn't hurt to get outside, other than the snakes, but.
Everyone think about the
I
snake.
know our scouts, last month when they had their camp out, they went across the road
Yeah.
to the lake and brought back bags of trash and one tire.
And shortly, well, as a matter of fact, a month ago, another organization out of Nashville contacted me that they were doing their annual Percy Priest cleanup. Basically, they just traveled the perimeters of Percy Priest, and I think that weekend it fell on our boat ramp. So we went out there again. This was about a month ago, and cleaned up and probably filled up another two 20-yard dumpsters. But they were on the other side of the boat ramp than what we did. So. It's pretty bad with those campers down up in there. So
We should figure out whether we can find people and then bring it before the big board, eh?
yeah, well, being able to find them is one thing, but being able to catch them is another.
Catch them is the other. Find
So
them.
that was my thing. Like, how do I catch them? I could put signs up all day and try to deter people from doing it, but how do I actually catch them in the act? So,
But if we had the code that allows us to find, you catch one person, you'd be surprised how it's going to spread.
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, just like cleaning up our city over the past few years. I
Definitely,
mean,
definitely.
people now look at Laverne differently.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what do we do to get someone in that area. I don't know if we need a cop patrolling it or have a Parks Rec guy, but it's something I'm trying to think over and over before I actually get to putting too much time into it.
Good for you. Well, good work.
Okay. And this is the other group that I would mention. This was just a month ago. We were out at Percy Priest boat ramp on September the 7th. That was, 2 months ago today.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two 20-yard dumpsters we had out there.
That thing looks full. They both look full.
Okay, this goes back to my complaint log, and those are the items that we've had on our complaint log so far this year. 43 disc job works, 3 sinkhole jobs, 10 miscellaneous, 9 that couldn't be fixed. Basically, it was not in the right of way, so we can't get on personal property. So we have to explain to them that the city is forbidden to get on personal property. So that fell under the category of couldn't be fixed. Currently, we have, and that number at open has went up since the last time I made the slide. I think we're at 39 open now. No, I'm sorry, 29 open.
So can't be fixed, just so I'm not confused. Does that mean it's actually the responsibility of the homeowner because
Yes,
it's the homeowner's property?
it's the
Okay.
homeowner's property.
Thank you.
We can fix it, but we're not legally
Right.
able to get on their property to fix it. We
Like,
definitely
we've had
could've
some calls from people that have sinkholes in their yards.
fixed it. Yeah,
We cannot go into your yard
yeah.
and fix the sinkhole.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I did in those situations, I contacted a sinkhole attorney out of Murfreesboro, and it got some contractors from her, and anytime I have that problem, I just give it to the homeowner. Hey, this is a sinkhole attorney you want to talk to, and here are some suggested contractors that can fix this for you. So I kind of didn't want to just leave them out there hanging to dry, so left it up to them to follow up with the attorney or whatever. And the attorney, she had some good information. Some of the people didn't notice that their homeowner insurance could actually get that taken care of. So
Oh,
Now,
That's
I'm
good to
probably the
know.
only person here thinking this, but wasn't there something in the press sometime over the last year where some house fell into a sinkhole? Was that in Florida?
yeah, that was
yeah, that was
Florida.
in Florida. that
It
was-
was in Florida. So the sinkholes in our city, what are they like?
They aren't as bad as Florida.
Good.
We're surrounded by water, similar to how Florida is, but fortunate enough for us, Laverne is the biggest rock in Tennessee. So
I've heard that over and over.
so we're fortunate enough to have that rock. It's bad when it comes time to build, but once it's built, I think we're in pretty good condition. So it's not that bad of a situation. I don't think we'll ever see any Florida-sized sinkholes here in town.
So we're not losing any small children in these things.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, and one thing I do is when I run into these, we usually get them barricaded up. Even if we're not going to fix it, we always barricade them until they
good.
get them fixed. We have tons of posts and yellow
Good.
fence that we put up. So, and just for my sake, or if my guys happen to go back out there, I don't want them to step down. In one case, lady was walking her dog, and her dog completely fell in it. And as I was pulling up, she was pulling the dog out of the hole by his collar.
I shouldn't
So,
laugh, that's not funny.
but yeah.
The dog was okay, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think she hurt herself more than the dog did trying to get him out. And that is it for the stormwater update. My information on there as well, my desk number and my email. That is it for me.
You've done a lot. How long have you been on staff?
9 months.
Wow.
9 months.
So
It's a
far,
lot,
good
right?
job.
You're doing a real
A
good
lot
job.
done.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. More questions? With that, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very